A list is a collection of items displayed in a sequence, one after another. Examples are your to-do lists, your list of class members, shopping lists, guest lists, and your song lists. It's a way to organize multiple things in one place. And in HTML, lists are created with the list tag, which is being denoted with the li tag. So here we're going to be having our list 1, list 2, and our list 3. List 1, list 2, and our list 3. And in HTML, we have three different, or let's say three main types of lists, which is the ordered list items, the unordered list items, and the definition list items. Starting with the first type of list, I'm going to be differentiating this using the header 2 tag. So I'm going to name this lists, or change to lowercase, changing this to lists, and we're talking about the ordered lists. So for our ordered lists are denoted, or should I say, ordered list is denoted with an OL as the parent tag, which is going to be wrapping all other list items. Now, ordered lists are items that are numbered automatically, like your 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's go ahead and include our list tags so you can see how they can all get numbered. Now, when I start writing my list tags under these ordered lists, they start getting numbered. So this can actually be used for when you want your list items to be numbered automatically, and when you want your items to be perfect when orderliness matters. For example, like instructions, or probably in ranking. So let's go with the recipe instruction. Let us say we have a baking instruction we want a reader to follow. So let's say, for example, we ask them to take this first step, which is to preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius. So let's start typing preheat the oven, sorry about that, to 180 degree Celsius. So we have it. This is the first step we want the user to take, or the reader to take, and then we'll go ahead and give them a second list to make a second step, and we tell them to mix flour, sugar, and eggs in a bowl. Mix flour, sugar, and eggs in a bowl, and then probably we'll go ahead and give them the third recipe, or third list in the recipe, telling them to, sorry about that, telling them to bake for 30 minutes. Bake for 30 minutes. So here we have an ordered list in an algorithm asking them to follow these recipes step by step, which is preheat over 180 degrees, mix flour, sugar, and eggs in a bowl, and then bake for 30 minutes. Now we have another type of lists, which is called the unordered list. So I'm going to be copying this. Sorry about that. I'm going to undo this right now. So I have to copy this, and I'll go right here, and then I'll paste it. So what I'm going to do is I have to title, or name it unordered list. Okay, and then an unordered list is being denoted with a UL tag. So whenever I change this, every list items nested under it turns into a bullet point. As you can see, now unordered list items are bulleted by default, and we have different bullet points that we can use, which are circles, squares, and disc. So this is perfect when orderliness don't even matter. You can use this for your shopping lists. You can actually use this for different things. So let's use shopping list as an example. So let's say we're going to the market to shop items. For example, we list different items, like go to the market, we shop for milk, and we shop for eggs, and next we shop for bread. Okay, we can also use this for your to-do lists. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to classify this under a different example, by using the h3 tag. Then I'm going to name this something like shopping lists. Okay, these are shopping lists. The second example we're going to be using under this is our to-do list. So I'm going to go ahead and paste this here, and I'm going to change this label to our to-do, sorry about that, to our to-do list. So we have the to-do list example. So probably the first item on my list is to wake up. My to-do list for the day is to wake up, and the next item on my list is to exercise. And the next item on my list, let's say we say something like study, or probably study HTML. So these are like different things you can do with your list items, and you can also have your song list. So I'm going to be pasting this down here. So we have our song list. Song list, we can have something like song A, song B, D, and C. Alright, so we have all these items displayed right here on our screen. So the list in HTML is a way to tell the browser that these items belong together. Now, before we move to our third list items, I would actually love to show you few attributes that can be used for both the ordered list items and the unordered list items. So I'll be starting with the ordered list items. For ordered list items, if you do not want our list to be displayed in numerical values, and probably want them to be displayed in alphabetical or Roman figures, we can use the list type attributes. So this list type attribute is something we're going to be listing in our parent tag right here. So I'm going to specify a type and denote it as, give it a value, and assign a value 1 to it. So when you assign a value 1 to it, this is by default going to bring out these numerical values such as 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And if you change this to A, let's say small letter A or lowercase a, is going to bring out your list items in lower cases such as A, B, C, and so on. And if you change this to an uppercase A, everything right here is going to transform to an uppercase letter. And if you also want the Roman figure, or if you want our list to be displayed or numbered in Roman figures, you're going to be using the I value. Now, when you change this to capital letter I, or should I say uppercase I, everything here transforms to an uppercase Roman figures. And when you use a lowercase, everything also gets transformed into a lowercase. Now, in situations whereby, okay, I'm going to take this back to our numerical value, which is 1, and in situations whereby you do not want this list to start from 1, 2, 3, let's say probably want it to start from 10, 11, 12, or probably 15 to 20 or 15 to 18, we're going to use the start attribute. So we specify a start attribute and then assign the particular number, a specific number where we want our numbering to begin. So let's say we want our numbers to start from 15. When you specify 15, everything here changes from 15, 16 to 17. And the same thing can also happen for alphabets. So if I change this type to A, everything starts from OPQ. The same thing goes for our lower cases, OPQ in small letters. The same thing also applies to our Roman figures. So you're going to see something like XV, XVI, XVII. So this is just how you can do this. So that is it for the type and start attributes for our ordered lists. Moving on to our unordered list, you can also specify a list type for our unordered list. Now, by default, our list type are in bullet points, and this type of bullet points are called disks. So I'm going to include this type and specify disk. So this is by default a disk bullet point. Now I've listed 3 bullet points for us to be able to differentiate this. So we have the shopping list, the to-do list, and the song list. So giving you a second example, I'm going to be using a different type for our to-do list. So here we have the square, and everything here is going to transform to a square shaped bullet point. Now moving to our last bullet point here in our unordered list, we're going to be using the circle type. Everything here is going to transform to a circle, a hollow circle. So these are the 3 basic list types that you can use in an unordered list. Although other styling that you can do for your bullet points, like when you want them to have a star, a love shape, an arrow bullet point, you can use CSS to style this. But then there's also this cheat code that you can also use using Unicodes. Let's not call it a cheat code. Let's just call it a simple hack that we can use in HTML. We're going to learn about Unicodes later on in this program, but for now, I'm just going to show you samples with few codes that we can use, and I'll be attaching them to this list tag right here. So I have to head back. So Unicodes are not written inside a tag. They're not written inside a tag. So I'm going to be writing this beside. Oh, so sorry. I'm going to be writing this besides this one. Okay, the first item on our list item. So I'm going to be starting with let's say a star shape, and the star shape is being denoted by these symbols and numbers. First of all, you use the and symbol and then the hashtag symbol, and then you attach these codes, numerical numbers to it, which is 9733. Then you close it with a semicolon. And here you have your solid star right here. So the same thing, you can also attach a different type of you can also attach a different type of star to our Unicode, to our list. What I'm trying to say is that you can also attach a different type of star using a different Unicode number to our second list, which is by pasting this and then using a 9734 instead of 9733. So as you can see, this is a haloed star where we have a solid star up above. We also have different codes that we can use, such as the arrow, and this arrow is being denoted as a hexadecimal Unicode, which is, it has an alphabet such as X right here, and every other thing is going to be a number. So I'm going to change this to its actual number, which is 2744. So I'm going to add a 2 right here, and everything here I'm going to check. Okay, you can also use this type of star, and I can also use different type of star. Whilst if you want this for an arrow, we change this to 9829. So everything is going to change. Okay, sorry, there is a mistake. I'm supposed to remove this X here to transform it to, okay, this is a love symbol. This is the code for a heart symbol. So we have different codes, and you can go online to browse about different Unicodes that you can use to create symbols. Now, why I didn't include this in our unordered list is because, let's try and copy this. When we include this to our unordered list, everything here, these bullet points here, will not be transformed. So let's say for milk, if I go here and I place it here, you see that these 2 points are going to look so clustered, which is not going to make it look professional. So to make this to contain just one point, or any shift points, or any shift bullet point, this is something you have to do using a CSS. So moving on to the next type of tag, which is our description list as our next type of list. So I'm going to use a H2 to label it. So a description list. So a description list is used to display terms and their descriptions, just like in a dictionary where you have a term and it's going to have a description for it. And these description terms can be used for definitions, just like I said, as in dictionary types. It can also be used for frequently asked questions, that's facts. It can also be used for key value pairs. It can also be used for product features and glossaries. So the structure of a DL is that a description list is being denoted with a DL tag. This is a description list tag. And the description list tag works with two special tags, which is the DT tag, which stands for description term, or the term or the title or label that is meant to be described. And we also have the DD tag, which stands for description. Please, oh sorry, this is a mistake, so I'll head back and clear it. The DD tag stands for description. In other means, you can also see it as a description, or should I say term of description, or the explanation of a particular term. So let's say if we have a DT here, which is, for example, let's say HTML is our description. HTML is our term. Okay, I have to make this to be bold, so I'm going to be adding a B tag right here. No mistake. I'm going to cut this out. Okay, so I create my B tag because I want it to be bold, and then I paste the HTML in between. So let's say we have a HTML term, and then we want to describe it. So we'll go in between this DD tag right here and key in our content to form our elements, which is HTML is hypertext markup language used to structure a web page. So let's go ahead and look at our description list. So here we have HTML, hypertext markup languages to structure a web page. By default, the text, or should I say the description, got indented to show that this is a description of this term right above it. So we can also use another example, like let's say we have something like CSS. So go right ahead, and I'm going to copy this and move on to the next page. I'm going to paste it. So I'll change this to CSS. And my description is going to be used to style and design web pages. So I'll be deleting this. Used. Okay. So sorry. Used to. Okay, I'm going to be changing this to style and design a web page, or rather design web pages. Okay, so this is good. Now let's scroll down and look at our work. So here we have two descriptions, such as hypertext, HTML, and our CSS we have two terms with their descriptions, which is HTML and CSS. So this is just the basic syntax of a description list item. So I can actually use something similar like this to also give extra examples, such as, okay, what I'm going to do is I have to copy this, and first of all, I'm going to have to differentiate this as a history. So I'm going to call this basic. The basic syntax of a description list, or I'll just leave it as basic syntax. So this is description list, the basic syntax example. So I have to copy this right here, and then I'm going to give a second example, and probably I'll name this. The next example I'm going to be giving is about a student's profile card. So student's profile card. In cases whereby, let's say, you're a member at Honors Academy or a student, so this is your name, and this is description. Description is, let's say, Chioma. That is my name as an example, Chioma Ibu, and okay, name Chioma Ibu, right? And then the next one might be something like, what course are you enrolled in? So you have a course, and then so call this full stack web development. Alright, sorry about that. So here we also have a name, Chioma Ibu, and a course, course full stack web development. We can also give another example, such as the frequently asked questions. So I'm going to name this as facts. So this is going to be our frequently asked questions. In situations, you can use this in situations such as, maybe you have something like, when does the class start? When does the class start? Okay. Oh my god, when does the class start? And then this is going to probably be the answer, and maybe I give a description right, like maybe I say something like, the course begins immediately after payment is confirmed. So stuff like this. When does the class start? The course begins immediately after payment is confirmed. You can also go ahead and ask questions like, let's say, because most students always ask this whenever they want to make a registration. They're always like, is there a certificate? Is there a certificate? And my answer is going to be something like, yes. Then I go right ahead and add something like students sorry, students receive, oh my god, students receive certificate right after completion, or students receive a certificate right after completion. So there we go. Now, for examples under frequently asked questions, when does the class start? Yeah, people always ask me this question. So before they keep, maybe something that I have on my web page, I can actually use the description list for it. But there are other methods for doing this. So this is just an example using frequently asked questions. I can also give another example using product features. Product features, for example, you go to a store and you probably want to get a phone. So, sorry. You want to get a phone and you're probably asking for the features of this phone. So let's say we ask for the battery life, and then you get a response like it lasts for 10 hours. So battery life 10 hours, and then probably storage. This is the other thing that people always check out for. So we have a storage, and probably you see something like 256 gigabytes SSD, or put in caps lock. So that is it. You can also have multiple descriptions, like term descriptions under a data term. So for example, where you have our HTML description, sorry, I have to go right ahead. Yes, here we have, oh my god, sorry, HTML. So here for our HTML description, here you can actually have two descriptions under it. So let's say we have for, okay, I have to move up a little more. For hypertext, for HTML, we have a first description. You can also, oh sorry about that, I have to go down here. You can also create another description, use under DD tag for it, and let's say we can say something like works with it works with CSS and JavaScript. Yes, because HTML works with CSS and JavaScript. So as you can see, we have the descriptions written right here. It has two definitions or two descriptions under this term. So that is it for our description list items. Now, generally, we can actually nest our ordered list items and unordered list items. And by nesting, this can be done with this example. Okay. So we're going to be giving another example, and I'm going to give this a header tree description. Maybe I'll call it nesting list items, just for you to understand it clearly. So nesting list items, I'm going to be giving you an example. So let's say we have an unordered list item. Now inside this unordered list item, let's say I want something like, I create my first list, and in my first list I want them to have should I say different list items. So let's go down here so you can be seeing everything clearly. So let's say we want to nest fruits. We have number one, fruit on our list. We have fruits on our list, and we want examples to be nested under them. So what we're going to have to do is, I'm going to have to create, or let's say we want them to appear in bullet points. I'm going to create another UL or another list items inside it, and inside this another list items, I'm also going to nest another list item inside it. So here I start listing stuff like mango. As you can see, everything is getting listed, and then I have another list item, and I say something like orange. There we go. And then I list another list item, and then let's say we have a banana. So we have three list items under it. We can also go ahead to create another UL item, and here we'll have something like, okay, sorry about that. I'm supposed to cut this off because I'm meant to follow this line, this sequence right here. Or, okay, yes. So probably I create another list item. Oh, no. So sorry about that. So I'm supposed to go right under here to create another list item. And inside, I'm also going to next my unordered list. And inside my unordered list, I'm also going to create another list item. So let's say this list item right here, we want to talk about hobbies, or let's say sports. Yeah, so we have second list like sports. And I want to start listing stuff like football. And then, sorry, spell it correctly. Alright, so the next item on our list should be like, basketball. Basketball. And then, next item might be skating. Skating. Sorry about this. I want to name this using lower cases. Okay, so we have skating. Right, so we have two items that are nested, that nested three other lists under them. So which is the fruits, and under it we nested mango, orange, and banana lists. And for our sports, we also nested our football, basketball, and our skating list. Now in this list, we can actually nest our list with ordered list, seeing as we used unordered list right here. So let's say we want to transform this to name or list of fruits. So we have one, or list of two list of items like 1 and 2, and we have an unordered list here. So go right ahead and transform this one to ordered list. Transform this to ordered list. You see everything gets numbered as 1 and 2. So we have our ordered list, which nested our list item, which also subnested our unordered list items with our list items too. So on and on, there we go. So that's it for nesting list items. We can also reverse our list items. So I'm going to be using a H tray for this description. So reversed list items. Reversed list items. Right. So we have our reversed list items. We can also, we can also reverse our list items. So let's say in cases where we have our ordered lists here, then we have our list in between. Let's say lists. Oh, sorry about that. I keep making this mistake. We have list 1, and we have second list, which is 2. We also have our third list, which is 3. I'll scroll down so you can see the screen very well. So we have list 1, 2, and 3. In cases where we want this to get reversed, I'm going to add an attribute called reversed right here. And that is it. Everything is going to start from 3 to 1. It's only the numbering that is going to get reversed, not the terms here. So even if my number 1 is, let's say I name it something like Charles, like names of people, Charles, and then I come here and I name something like let's say Abigail, and here I have something like Frank. It's not going to put the one on the first list at the bottom. The only thing that's going to change is the numerical values. So the same way, if I'm to add my type as, let's say, if I'm to add my type as alphabet, it's going to start from CBA. It does not mean that these items I have listed in the tags are going to get reversed. It's still going to maintain its original display. So even if I go ahead and then, so we can also go ahead and add our start tag. Sorry about that. We can also go ahead and add our start tag, and then we'll change it to, let's say, 5, and it's going to start from EDC, because by default E is the 5th alphabet, D is the 4th alphabet, and C is the 3rd alphabet. But it's still going to start with, originally it's meant to start from C. It's going to start by 5 in the reversed form, of which originally, if I had removed this, it's meant to start from E, F, G, H. But since it's going to start coming Since this is in reverse form, it's going to start, it's going to display backwards. So let's remove this reverse and everything's going to change from EFG. But then if I include our reversed tag, sorry, our reversed attribute, I'll paste this. That's a mistake. So sorry about that. It's supposed to be so if I have a reversed attribute, everything's going to start from EDC backwards. It's going to start from the 5th alphabet and start coming up. Or should I say, and start decreasing from the 5th alphabet. There are so many other things that we can do with the list tag, especially this LI tag right here. It's not really necessary or it's not mandatory that we place them under the ordered list or probably the unordered list tags. You can actually use them for menus, navigations, and many more. You can also wrap other type of tags inside your list tags, starting with images. For example, you can have a list tag. Okay, I'm going to name this images and lists. Okay, so we can have our list tag, and inside our list tag we can have our image tag, and we'll go ahead and add our image. For example, okay, before then I'll have to add an image to our directory. So I'll just go ahead and go to pictures. Okay, so I'm going to use this. I keep using this every time. So I'm going to use this and then, okay, and I'll have to rename it. So I'll just use it as, let's say, I'll name it img.png for simple. Let's make it more simpler for us. So I'll cancel this. Okay, so I'm going to add the img.png in our list tag. So I'm going to have to reduce the width because this is too wild for the screen. So I'll take the width down to 50. Okay, now it's looking little. So I don't know why this is still labeled as tray. I think something, there has to be a closing tag which I have not included somewhere. So I'll look for it. Okay, we have this, then what else? Okay, so this is probably a glitch. I don't have time to start searching for it, so I'm just showing you an example. You can actually add a list. You can actually add an image to your list tag, and we can actually name this maybe probably image1. And we have this, and we can also add links. So for example, I break this line and I add my anchor tag. For example, I say something like learn more about this image, or view, yes, learn more about this image, learn more about this image. And I probably go, I reference it to, let me just look for a particular link. I'll just put something like pixels or freepik.com, and when I tap on it, it's going to actually take me to the actual page where there are images. Freepik is actually a web page whereby you can download different type of images and possibly videos. So I'm just using this randomly. That does not mean that you're going to necessarily find this image right there. So this is just a way of, listing my, showing you what you can do with your list items. You can add text, you can add images with text, you can also add links, you can also like add buttons, you can create forms under your images, you can do something like let's create another list. So we have another list. This is adding 3 and 4 here. Okay, now I understand. It actually continued from our nesting items, blah blah blah. So that's where this mistake came from, and meaning that our reversed list items got nested under our nesting items. So I have to search for it and delete it. So reversed list items has to be right after this one. Nesting items. Okay. Okay. So that is it. We're missing our closing tag for our ordered list. So let's get back to where we were. So now everything now looks arranged. So we have on that list right here. Let me break this so that it's not going to get stacked up together. So we have other things we can add, such as your form. So inside this list, let's say I'm going to create a form tag. Let me break this so that it's not going to look stacked up together. And then I'll probably do something like specify an action for our submission page. Let's assume we have a submission page called submit.html, which is where information are going to go into. So I'm going to create my input tag right here, and probably I'll ask for a name, or I'll even label it. So we have something like this, and then we'll have it. We can have our submit. We can have our button which says send. So we can have this as our list items, stuff like that. We can also add paragraphs and our H1 to 6 tags in our list items. So let's say, for example, we do something like this. Let's say we use this example H3, or probably yes, I'll name this product listing. So using this example in cases where I want to list our products on an e-commerce platform. So I'm going to create my list, and here we can have something like, or probably I'm going to wrap this inside an unordered list. So inside here we can have our list items. So and inside these list items we can have our let's say H1, where we name it something like product name. So we have product name, and then under it we have a paragraph which says this is actually $25. Or probably write something instead of product name. We can use something like let's say virtual assistant course or web dev course. Web dev course is $25. It's $25. I think this H1 is too much, so I'm gonna take it down to H4. But it's still too much. Okay, let's leave it as H4. And then probably I'm gonna add a button which says something like maybe add to cart. It's an e-commerce platform. Sorry, I have to use a lowercase. Add to cart, or probably saying something like enroll. Okay, add to cart, or probably I'll say something like purchase course. Okay, I'll do something like purchase. So purchase, or probably enroll. So once you tap on the button, as if this is a form, it's going to take you to where you're going to register and pay for the course. So we can also create another list item. Let's say for our module lists. Let's say for our module list. So, oh my god, so sorry. I have to undo this. Initially I was meant to copy, and then I'm supposed to come here and paste. So for our module list, let's say we have something like okay, I'll change this to module lists. Now scroll down here so that you can see everything. So for module list, let's change this to an ordered list item. This is going to be an ordered list item. Okay, so this module list, let's say we have something like module 1. We have module 1, and then we have a paragraph that says something like learn tags, elements, and attributes. And then we also include a link instead of a button. So include an anchor tag which says something like, let's assume we have a page for our module. So I'm going to do something like module. I'm going to link this page called module.html. This is just an instance, or I could probably include our learning platforms link right here, so that when a user sees this, wait, let me refresh. Okay, module 1, learn tag. Okay, it's supposed to have a closing tag, so add our a tag right here. Let's go down, and here we add something like start module. Start module. So when we scroll down, you see our link is here. So we have module 1, learn tag, learn tags, it's meant to be tags, learn tags, elements, and attributes. Then when you click on start module, it takes you to the page where you're going to start your learning. And then let's say we have a second module. So I have to copy this and still paste it right here. And I'm going to change this to module 2. And in this module 2, maybe you can say something like learn styling, colors, and layouts using CSS. And probably we have module 2.html. So let me just name this module 1.html, and here we have module 2.html. So these are links to different pages. These are just assumed these pages. I didn't actually create a real page named module.html. So this is how we can just do it. So these are the few things I can do with your HTML list. You can actually add homepage tags. For example, before we round up, I'm going to show you. Let's say we have a web page where we have navigations. Let's say we have navigation. That's a navigation bar. It's meant to be in NAV. Let's say we have our navigation bar, and then we start to list our items, such as, let's say we have, let me scroll down so you can see. Okay, so we have our first list, and then we can add our tag, our link tag, which says this is our home page, home. So instead here we do something like ref equals home, home.html. Let's go down. So we have our home.html. Okay, home.html, and then we'll have another list which says, I have to copy this. Oh, I'm so sorry. I think this home is meant to be right here. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. So I'm going to copy this, and then I'll paste, and then I'll paste. So we have something like home.html, and we have something like courses. So here we have course.html, and let's see, we have something like okay, so let's just say we have we have about. So I'm going to crop this. So I'm going to cut this out, and I probably place it right above our courses. And I'm going to change this to about. So I'll change this to about.html. Remember, this is when we assume that we have pages like different pages like home.html and course and about.html pages in our directory, although we do not have them here. So this is just an assumption. So let us say this is linked to home. So when we click on home, it takes us there. When we click on about, it takes us there. We can actually use CSS to style our navigation bar. Okay, so let us say this is navigation, and I'll probably add a button inside our navigation. We can actually nest something else. So let's just say it's just going to be a normal list. So I'll just like paste it, and we have something like change this to a button. I'll just change this to a button which says contact. A button which says contact. contact us. So that's just it. And let's say, for example, I have my WhatsApp link. I generate my WhatsApp link. I just have to paste it here, or probably I'll just put my email address here, or probably my phone number. I'll just generate the link for it. So let me just put email.com. Let's just assume that this is a link. So this is just how I link everything, and then when they tap on this contact button, it takes them to my email. Cannot get email.com. Okay, so that is just it. There are also other simple methods, or should I say shortcuts, that you can use to create your lists using the Emmet shortcuts or Emmet abbreviations. So before I round up, I'm going to be giving few examples. So when we do something like UL, then close brackets, and let's say list times 5, it's going to create a nested list. It's going to create an unordered list that is nesting 5 list items. So when we do this, we hit the tab button, you're going to see that everything gets displayed here. So this is just a way that you can type your codes faster. So another method is also, if you want to auto number them, you can also do something like this. Let's say we have let's say you have your UL, that's ordered lists, and then our list items, they're going to include our text items by adding them in our code brackets. So let's say we want stuff to contain something like item 1, item 2, and item 3. So just use the $sign, and then we come outside here, and then we include times 3. So we do something like times 3, and hit the tab button. Is going to bring out item 1, item 2, and item 3. Anyways, you're going to learn about this Emmet later on in this program, so they can understand it very well. So this is it. This is everything that we've done on our list HTML list tutorial. So to summarize, we've learned about how to create ordered list items, how to create unordered list items, how to use the description list and the 2 other tags that works with them, which is the DD tag and the DT tag. We've also learned how to customize different list styles, and now you can properly structure information on your web page instead of just stacking up text all around. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more web dev tutorial videos. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.